Welcome back to Trading Wars. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be recapping all of the trades and action during the last week. And if you're ready, let's step into the war zone. All right. So we're going to start off with Monday and we're going to go through our process. So the first thing is we have to identify where we're opening on Monday. We're opening right near the previous day's low. And this is something that I pointed out on Twitter. Either we're going to hold the previous day's low or we're going to break right through it. And that's what we had, a clean breakthrough. So how do you actually get involved in this play? So what we're going to do is we're going to draw the Fibonacci from the high to the low. And we had a clear 618 entry that traded two targets. So this was a very easy setup. Once we had that first impulsive leg, we had to pull back to 618 and we had this big collapse. So for those who don't know, I'm writing the Fibonacci Fundamentals book as requested by everyone on Twitter. I already have 48 people that have signed up for it. I'm just getting it edited and I'm going to send it out hopefully this weekend. And it's going to talk about in detail all of these setups, everything that I've learned over the last 5 years with Fibs. It's going to have trade management. It's going to have risk management. It's going to have how to compound your account. It's going to have the micro, the macro, time frame alignment. I really put a lot of effort into that. So it's going to really help you to grow your account. And I promise that book's going to change your life. So if you haven't signed up for that book, please send me a DM. And now back to the setups here. All right. So here on the 618, if we would just taken a very simple candlestick entry, we could have entered right below the low with a stop above the high like so. And if we're going to 3-to-1 risk to reward, 3 is right around here. You could have gotten all the way till 5.8 if you're willing to hold it. But what I would recommend is scaling out on the way down. So definitely scaling out some at 2, 3, 4, etc. Right. So with this gap down play here, this breakthrough and this reversion back to the 618, that is easily going to be, I'm going to say, a 3R winner. Okay. So our R that we trade with every single day is $1,000. $1,000 represents 2% of my account. My account is $50,000. So when I trade, I risk $1,000 per trade, if that makes sense. Okay. So that's going to be $3,000. All right. So now we're going to move on to the next day. So on this day, Tuesday, where are we opening? Well, we're opening outside of the previous day's range. We're gapping up. Anytime we're gapping up, I really want to be long because I understand that anyone that was shorting here, is trapped. And I want to be able to capitalize on trapped traders. That's one thing you have to do as a professional is you have to understand who's trapped at the open and really take advantage of that, right? So the first feasible setup on the day was this tweezer bottom. I have the tweezer scanner indicator here. This is free on Tradingview. Please add it to your setup if you don't have it. But the first setup on the day was just taking a long right on the close of this bar with a stop below the low. And at the very high, we're able to squeeze out 2R on this. Okay. So if you're just taking profits at your multiples, 1.5, 2, etc., and then moving your stop up, you definitely would have been able to at least get away with, I would say, 1.5R on this day. Okay. So that was the first setup. What's the next setup? The next setup is something that I talk about all the time. It's the mid Bollinger Band with the fibs. So if we just draw the Fibonacci from the low to the high here, we have a beautiful 618 setup. And again, I'm going to be showing you guys the candlestick entry here, how you can get involved with the candlestick. But I have a very, very more advanced style of entering on the Fibonacci's, which I'm going to share in my book only. Okay, I'm not going to share it here on YouTube because people have already paid me for that. And I don't want to give things away that people have paid me for. It's not fair to them. But let's just use the candlestick here. So again, at the very high, we're able to get away with about 3.2. So we're going to say with scaling out, we're able to get at least 2.5 on that. And that's pretty much it on the day. So 1.5 plus 2.5 is 4. Right? Am I right? Yeah. So that's going to equal to $4,000. Okay. So we're up 3R here from the fib. We're up 4R here. That's 4,000. Okay, so now let's look at this play. Okay, so this is December 2nd. So how are we going to play this? Well, we have to identify first what's happening. So we're gapping down here clearly, but we're in this zone, which is near the previous day's low. So one of two things are going to happen similar to this day over here. We're either going to just break right through, or we're going to have a reversal, and we have to wait for the reversal sign. So the reversal sign was actually this little doji here. And I pointed this out in the pre-market plan on Twitter that I share with everyone for free in the morning. And I noted that this area here around 42 was the pre-market low, and it was also the 382 retracement. So let's draw the fibs together. So draw the fib from here to here, right? So this was hanging around at the 382 retracement. So it was a good area to buy. So what actually happened at the open? What happened at the open? Well, we knew the pre-market low was 36.4250. Guess what the low on that bar was? 36.4225. So it was literally almost identical, right? So that was the signal right here that the pre-market support is holding and that the bigger picture fib on the hourly chart is playing out. So this was your entry signal. So how do we play that? Enter along above the high of the candle, stop below the low like so. Can easily, let's see, where is the close? So around here is the third. So just scaling out again, I think the max you could have gotten was about 3. So let's bring that down and say we're able to get 2. Okay, so that's 2R. That's $2,000. Okay. And if you guys notice, my style is I look for the best play at the open. Okay. I'm not taking any trades later in the afternoon. My cutoff is around 11:30. And if I've entered a position earlier in the day, I'm not going to get in something later, because later in the day, the volume tends to die. We tend to get choppy and the setups are less reliable. So I prefer getting in the morning. And that's why, I'm not a slave to the chart. I take the opportunities as they come in at the open, and I lock in my profits and I walk away. Okay. So now we are going to go to Thursday. So Thursday, we're opening right at the previous day's high. Okay. Right here at the previous day's high. So let's zoom in and really try to analyze this. Okay. Wait, let me go here to auto. Okay. So we're opening right on the previous day's high. The first candle breaks through the high and immediately has a wick. So I was looking at this the whole time in my head saying, okay, it looks like a good short, right? It looks like a good short because we broke through the previous day's high and we had this long wick. However, just by being patient, what we had instead was we had this double bottom play actually. And then if we take the Fibonacci from the low to the high of the first 30 minutes, we can clearly see that this 786 area here was holding. So that gave me confidence that, you know what, this might be a double bottom and we might squeeze through. So the actual setup was entering on this inside bar. Okay. So how we can enter on the inside bar is we can enter above the high or we can enter on the close. It depends on what you're comfortable with. And we can put a stop right below the bar or a little bit above. That's what I like to do, a little bit above that stop. And this was an easy 3R winner. So usually I like to go for 3+. And if you were able to scale out here, the maximum you would have gotten was about 4.5. So let's just say we're walking away with 3R. 3R equals 3,000. Okay. And that's it. I'm done. I'm done over there. I did actually take another short inside bar here because after we had this push up. So once we have this leg, I know that in the afternoon that we're likely to reverse, right? So we had this push up. This was around 11. And then I saw this double doji right here with this inside bar again. And I did the same thing. And I just shorted right below this low here. Stop right over here. And we're able to get a 3R again. So then I'm just going to add this here. So 3R plus 3R, $6,000. Okay. And then the last setup on the week was over here where I took a loss. So again, it was literally the same thing that happened. We started off inside and then we broke through the high and we had these double wicks here. So I went short right around here looking for the reversal. I really thought we were actually going to reverse this day. But instead what happened is we squeezed through and I got stopped out. And the only other setup on that day was this inside bar here for the long. But once I got stopped out over here, I called it a day. I didn't want to be involved anymore because I've already made enough money at the beginning of the week. But I called this out on Twitter for my followers. We have a nice hammer inside bar. So we just enter right above the high. And this candle doesn't fill you. The next candle does. And then that ends up being a very good play into the close. Look how beautiful that is. So on this day, minus 1R equals minus 1,000. Okay. So let's do the math and see where we end up on the week. So obviously this was a hell of a week. I don't even have to do the math, but 3,000, 4,000, 2,000, 9 minus 1 is 8 plus 6 is 14 grand. Okay, that's how it's done. 14R equals 14,000 on the week. And let me take a moment to talk about this. Do you guys understand how controlled my risk is though? If I have a $50,000 account, I'm risking $1,000 per trade. Okay. So I'll need to lose 50 trades in a row to lose my account. And I talk more about risk management in my book. But if you have a $200 account and you're trying to make 14,000, it's not going to happen. Let me repeat that. It's not going to happen. And there's so many bullshit scammers on Twitter that are saying you can make money from nothing. Nothing in this world works like that. It takes something to make something. Okay? So if you have a 100K account, all you have to do is multiply this by 2. That's going to be your results. If you have a 10K account, divide this by 5. Everything is proportionate to your account. This is how you manage your risk. You keep your risk at 1 to 2% of your account so that even if you lose a series of trades, you just need to win 1 or 2 trades to get back on track. Okay. And I'm going to talk about that more in my book. All right. So thank you very much. I hope this setups made sense. Honestly, guys, I post this live all the time on Twitter. No one has any excuses. I give it in real time. Okay. Real time. Nobody else does that but me. So please give me a like if you like what I'm doing here. Sign up for the book if you want to learn all the setups. I put my heart and soul into that book, and I promise it will change your life. All right. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you guys back on Monday. Take care.